Greetings and welcome to Maple Leaf America. Canada to the south, the United States to the north. It's really the only place you will find this geographic phenomena standing on Belle Isle in the middle of the Detroit River. This week we're in Hockeytown, USA. Of course, any town in Canada, especially Toronto, would be considered Hockeytown, but in the United States, Detroit has that claim to the name. We'll figure out what Hockeytown is all about, and we'll also meet a former Maple Leaf who is a Red Wings legend. Stay with us. Maple Leaf America is coming up next. In Hockeytown for Maple Leaf America in downtown Detroit outside the Joe. And we start the show with a Red Wing legend and former Maple Leaf, Johnny Wilson.
When looked back upon, a hockey career can best be put in historical perspective by the number of precedents set. Former NHLer Johnny Wilson set many. He and his brother Larry won a Stanley Cup together as rookie players in Detroit in 1949-50. They coached against one another in the NHL in 76-77, Larry in Detroit, Johnny is the first ever coach of the Colorado Rockies. They had previously gone head-to-head, running minor league clubs. Larry passed away at age 48 in 1979.
I always remember this, that I have a picture at home that, of course, after we won, we all assembled on the ice, and he took my arm and raised it up in the air, and he says, "You're the greatest brother in the world," when I beat him, and that's still embedded in my mind. And I have a picture at home that I'm very proud of, and I cherish that immensely.
The Wilson legacy carries on. Larry's son Ron, who played 177 games for the Leafs and North Stars along the way, is in his 5th season coaching the Washington Capitals.
It's been nice to have that tie because he and my uncle were so close, and along with Marcel Pronovo, the three grew up together in Shawinigan Falls and moved to Windsor, and their whole careers were basically intertwined, and it's nice to see either one of them and have a sense of my dad still lives through those guys, also obviously through me and what I do, but I'm able to touch my past in a much better way by being able to hear those old stories.
It would have been nice had he been here today that we could sit down from time to time and both watch him perform as a coach and also his team, but I'm certainly proud, and our entire family is.
Uncle Johnny is a good one to look up to. As a player, he was hockey's first true Iron Man, with 8 uninterrupted seasons from 1952 to 1960.
First, let's look at the record being set this afternoon when Detroit's Johnny Wilson played in his 509th consecutive game.
We played under a lot of handicaps sometimes, you know, pull muscle or groin injury, a slight groin injury. The only time perhaps you wouldn't play is if you had a fracture or something that you couldn't perform. But most of the players, I would think, over the course of the year played hurt. And but as a result, you played one game, and suddenly a reporter said to me one day, said, "Johnny," said, "you know, you're on the verge of breaking a record." I said, "Well, it's not goal scoring." And I said, "It's not assist." He said, "No, consecutive games."
A record set in a time when advanced medical and conditioning procedures were unseen.
And I remember the first Charlie horse I got, and Lefty Wilson said, you know, jump in the bathtub, and he put the hot water on there almost to the point where I couldn't hardly stand it, and he wrapped a towel around my thigh and stuck the hose in there, and that was the whirlpool. And then after that was over, I still had a big lump on my thigh. He said, "You'd better get on that rubbing table because," and this is how much they knew about injuries. He said, "You see that lump you got there?" He says, "I got to rub that down with my thumbs." So he put some kind of medication on there, like a Vaseline, and he says, "You got to get all that blood through the heart so it kind of, you know, kind of flatten out." So in the meantime, I'm hanging on for dear life.
Wilson won 4 cups in Detroit, the last coming in 1954-55. It was the last one the Motor City would see for 42 years. Johnny's exploits in the playoffs more of what legends are made of.
I remember scoring the only goal in one of the games against Toronto, which we won 1-0, and then we played the Leafs the next night, or 2 nights later. We win 3-0, and I'd scored the first goal, so that was another winner. And then in the finals, we beat the Canadiens 2-0, I think, in Montreal, and I'd scored the only goal on Jacques Plante, and then they pulled the goaltender, and Red Kelly got the open net goal, so made it 2-0. So out of those 8 games, I had scored 3 winning goals, so it was kind of a good series for me, and those are little things you remember, I guess, when you sit back and kind of reminisce over your career.
Wilson played for 4 Original Six clubs: Detroit, Chicago, Detroit again, Toronto, and New York. He joined the Leafs in the summer of 1959 when the Wings swapped him and another player for Barry Cullen.
I enjoyed Toronto. They're great fans, and of course, playing with Toronto and against Toronto was always a thrill, because the fact that, Maple Leaf Gardens, that was the epitome of terms of playing hockey in all the rinks in the world. Maple Leaf Gardens was one of the top arenas that you wanted to play in, as a Maple Leaf or as a member of the opposition.
Coaching didn't bring the success Wilson enjoyed as a player. He ran 3 different expansion teams and an average Detroit club for 2 seasons in the early 70s. Then, like now, winning so often came down to dollars and cents.
I remember one Friday, Baz came up to me and he said, "Johnny," he said, "today is payday." But he said, "I won't be around today." He said, "I'll be around tomorrow morning, Saturday." I said, "Fine." And the reason why he didn't come around till Saturday is because we needed Saturday's gross gate receipt to pay the boys, see? Friday, if we had have paid them, they rushed to the bank, they'd have come out of there and say, "Wow, check's no good, bounced." But I always felt that if I had a star, like an Eiserman or a Bobby Orr, someone that could kind of control the game to some degree, I always felt that if you come over to the bench, I'd say, "Well, what are you doing here? You should be back out on the ice." I wouldn't be him on the bench. I'd say, "Get out there. 60 minutes, it's your game." I never had that privilege.
Not to say coaching wasn't entertaining.
I walk in the dressing room, and Eddie was kneeling in front of the Wayne Rutledge. He said, "Just please stop one puck, will you? Just one. Give us a break, because they're going in." He said, "Just one." And then he spots me. He crawls on his hands and knees and goes back and sits down where he was sitting in the dressing room. But I had to kind of walk out and chuckle, because he was begging the goaltender just to make a save.
Wherever hockey exploits took Johnny Wilson, he always ended up returning to his adopted home of Detroit. He and his wife of 47 years, Pat, officially became U.S. citizens last March. Detroit and Original Six hockey is in all of the Wilsons' blood.
The cool part is both of them, for better or worse, had coaching stints with the Red Wings. So that's a neat little piece of history that makes coming to Detroit special.
I lived in Windsor, and of course the days that we weren't playing, we'd come over and watch the Wings play, and the days that the Wings weren't playing, Lindsay and Hal would come over and watch us perform. So there was like a real family feeling to the organization.
Johnny Wilson's career winds its way through the fabric that makes up the history of Hockeytown. Unprecedented and monumental.
There's more to Hockeytown than just the Red Wings in downtown Detroit. For many years, fans north of the city enjoyed the International Hockey League's Detroit Vipers, but that league went belly up. And here on the west side, you have the Ontario Hockey League's Plymouth Whalers. But it's not all about geography. It's actually more about Hockeytown, the state of mind. Detroit hockey fans are referred to as wing nuts.
Some are odd, but mostly they're just crazy about their hockey team. Sellouts at the Joe in downtown Detroit have been a given each and every night for most of the last decade and a half. December of 1996 was the last time a game wasn't sold out. Percentage of capacity never changes unless you go above 100% with standing room only tickets.
Been a Wings fan as long as I can remember. Grew up with my dad liking the Wings too, and my brother-in-law and his friend have season tickets here, so they gave my daughter Stephanie her first opportunity to come to a Wings game.
It's just a great, best place to come watch hockey, and Red Wings are always, always challenging.
Hockeytown doesn't stay put. It moves around with the team. Hordes of Wings fans show up at each and every road venue. Some former snowbirds relocated to warmer climates. Others make as many treks as possible. It was a tradition started back when the team stunk and played at the Olympia. The Forum Club made select group trips each and every season, usually to Montreal or Toronto.
Well, Hockeytown's like, brings tradition. I think it means a lot. I think it speaks volumes for the type of city it is, but also the type of fans that we have. And it's weird because it's almost bigger than that. It's Hockeytown is a moniker, but it's Hockey State, and where we go and play on the road everywhere, there's always red and white in the stands.
One big missing element: lack of games against Toronto and other Eastern Original Six teams. The Leafs visit Detroit twice this season. The Wings do not travel to Toronto. Pathetic, given the history, the rivalry, and the geography.
When I first came here, we were playing them, 5-6 times. Going there 3 times, or them coming here 3 times, or something like that. So those are always special games. Those are games, as soon as the schedule came up, he took a look and saw, okay, when are we going to Toronto? When's Toronto coming here? So, those are always special games, and it's tough that, now that they're over in the East, they come here twice, but we don't even get to go there.
The Leafs and Wings still have history in common. And it seems even in modern times, history follows these old franchises around. Magic things just happen. When Maple Leaf America visited Detroit last month, it was on yet another one of those evenings. Luc Robitaille broke Bobby Hull's career record for goals by a left wing.
That goes back a long way. Before you were even playing minor hockey, likely, when I scored my first one.
Yeah, before I was born, I can tell you that.
Don't make me feel so young.
With any franchise, passion and attendance correlate directly with wins and losses. The wins and the passion in Detroit, and not to mention merchandise sales, have ramped up along the same curve as the successes of Captain Steve Yzerman's career. He's everywhere. The second incarnation of Mr. Hockey in Detroit.
It's the best sport in this state. Red Wings are the best team. They got the best record, and they're going to win the cup this year. And Yzerman is going to be MVP of the playoffs.
The hockey. That's all it is, hockey. The Wings have got a great team this year, a lot of stars. So we make it every year that we can.
Although the Detroit Vipers shut down operations with the IHL folding last year, a trickle-down effect still exists in Motown. The Ontario Hockey League's suburban Plymouth Whalers enjoy a passionate following.
Detroit is all about hockey, it's a blue-collar worker, and everybody loves good, tough hockey. Here with Plymouth Whalers, we get pure hockey, the kids come to play every game, the kids enjoy it, and I just love hockey. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
Hockey everywhere, whether it's Wings, whether it's the Whalers, whether it's my son's Mite League, or whatever level you want. Say it, hockey's everywhere. You live it, you love it.
And although the Hockeytown moniker has been commercialized to an extent in Detroit, it remains for the most part a hockey state of mind.
We live it, breathe it, sleep it. My son's playing hockey. I've played hockey for years. We've got a rink in the backyard. And, this warm snap has kind of hurt. I know neighbors 3 doors down and all the way down the other side of the street are out there looking at ponds of water right now, just waiting for it to freeze up. But that's what we do, is we play hockey, and we're an original 6 town, and we take that pretty seriously around here.
May the Wingnuts and Hockeytown, in fact all hockey towns, live on forever.
From all over Metro Detroit, all hockey roads lead right back here to the very crowded Joe Louis Arena. Stay with us when we come back. Instead of a Hockeytown segment, it's a Motor City-related travelogue on Maple Leaf America.
My name is Jeff Leonard from Bell River. Favorite all-time Leaf is Ty Domi, because he is from Bell River. I'd like to say hi to Franca and my mom and dad and everybody else back in Bell River. Go Leafs, go!
Kevin Kelly, Chatham, Ontario, Daryl Sittler, Boris Salming. Hi, Lori.
Welcome back to Maple Leaf America. I'm about 10 miles outside of downtown Detroit, and I'm standing in front of the world's largest tire, which I think right now just happens to be the world's coldest tire also. It's about 87 feet high. It belongs to Uniroyal, which belongs to the Michelin Corporation, and it has quite an interesting history. Watch this.
First of all, we apologize for one aspect of this week's travelogue. Usually we talk to local residents or passers-by who have fascinating observations to share. Unfortunately, passers-by at this isolated site were passing by at 80 to 125 kilometers an hour. Plus, it was cold as hell, LeBurton, outside, and exposed humans were tough to find. So when the going gets tough, there's Bob.
We are going to do major overhauling of the tire this calendar year. There will be structural improvements on the inside of the tire. The tire's been sitting out here in the weather for 30 plus years at this location.
Uniroyal calls it their roadside icon. No doubt about that. An 8-story, 12-ton icon. Big and tough on nails. Tough on arrows also. About 100 have been pulled from its hide over the years. Apparent amateur archers hoping to pop the beast. Good luck, knuckleheads. This tread is made of fiberglass.
We'll also do a facelift on the outside of the tire and make it, more beautiful to the eye. The ground around the tire will be redone, and new fencing, new landscaping. In other words, a total makeover. After 30 years in the weather, it's time.
The Giant Tire was originally known as the U.S. Rubber Giant Tire and was built for the 1964 World Fair in New York. It had a Ferris wheel running around the outside with 24 gondolas carrying 96 fairgoers. 2 million people rode on it, including Jacqueline Kennedy and her kids. After the festivities, the huge circle was moved to its current location in Allen Park, Michigan. Transported by train in 188 pieces, it took 4 months to reassemble. In 1994, the tire received a new hubcap and a neon light. In '98, the appearance was modified again to resemble the popular nail guard tire. The new tread was simply added on top of the old, narrower one, which had originally encased the Ferris wheel assembly. A Uniroyal icon and a Detroit icon, the Giant Tire. A ride down Interstate 94 from Metro Airport to a Red Wings game downtown takes you right past it.
Here we are in suburbia outside of Detroit, or as my old Canadian relatives or old hockey players call it, Detroit, or as the former mayor of the city, the late Coleman Young, used to call it, Detroit. We're having a good time here, and Motown, Motor City, Hockeytown, all that good stuff. And I figured since we're so close to Canada, I'd finally be able to get my name and number on the back of my jersey, because I've been having this trauma the entire length of this television series. But wouldn't you know, my mother-in-law came up with this. A red number 9. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Ron Barnes. I'm from Wallsburg, Ontario. I'd like to say hi to everybody at Oxford and Wallsburg, and go Ty Domi and Darcy Tucker.
Welcome back to Maple Leaf America. Standing near the Ambassador Bridge, the bridge to Canada, from Detroit to Windsor. A lot of hockey fans crisscross this bridge and also come through the tunnel to the Joe Louis Arena. Canadians, fans of an American hockey team. I don't think I like it.
On a good day, Windsor hockey fans can hop in their cars, cross over or under the Detroit River, and be parked outside the Joe Louis Arena in less than 10 minutes. Now, is that any reason not to love Ontario's own Toronto Maple Leafs?
I don't like the Leafs at all. They have the money, they can supply the Stanley Cup anytime they want. They just don't. I hate them.
Hey, no reason to get personal. It hasn't been 42 years between cups for the Leafs, just 35. And you're Canadian. What's the matter with you?
Well, being across the river here, we can see Joe Louis Arena. So I grew up in front of Channel 50 instead of Channel 9. And I'm glad I did, because I've never seen the Leafs win the Cup. And I've seen my Wings win it, 2 years here. And we're going to win it this year for sure with the all-star team that we have.
Okay, Windsor and Detroit are both big into the auto industry. Both have casinos. Both love hockey. That's where it ends. Detroit used to be the murder capital of the U.S. Windsor never held that type of distinction. Detroit has almost 1 million people in the city and miles of urban sprawl beyond. Windsor touts 200,000 residents and a relatively small cement prairie. Detroit's big and American. Windsor's cozy and Canadian. How can the simple proximity factor overcome all of that?
Canada has a great sport of hockey, and it's come into the United States, but Detroit's nearby. My dad's a Leaf fan. I couldn't grow up Leafs. I don't know why, but I'm here in Detroit.
But wait, every cloud has a silver lining. And how about another perfect cliche? Turnabout is fair play.
You're walking around with Joe wearing your Leafs jersey. What's going on?
Well, I grew up in a small town not far outside of Detroit, but we always watched Hockey Night in Canada. And my dad and brother were Red Wing fans, and I was always a Leaf fan. I loved Bauer and Mihailovich and Keon and all those guys, and so I just have always been a Leaf fan. And as a matter of fact, my sister-in-law, who lives in Canada, gave me this sweater for Christmas this year. So I'm real proud to wear it.
So it goes both ways. Although a very informal poll suggests about 70% of Windsor hockey fans favor the skaters in red and white over those in blue and white, up from 60% a decade ago when the Detroiters weren't very good. Bottom line, fans on both sides of the river are united on the single most important opinion: the fact that they all love hockey.
Detroit, truly an international hockey city. Next week, we're going to Hockeytown of the minor leagues, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We'll see you from the heartland of America next week on Maple Leaf America.